Farmers in arid and semi arid areas keep their feet on the ground and eyes on the sky, always hoping for a timely rainfall. Therefore, water conservation is of utmost importance in the dryland agriculture. Water conservation practices are based on three basic principles: water capture, water retention, and efficient use of water. So, most of the water that is coming from rainfall must be captured. The water that is captured must be retained in the soil, and water that is retained in the soil must be utilized efficiently by crops. While assessing the potential for water conservation in dryland agriculture, the experts suggest uh, considering two types of losses. One is recoverable losses in the form of seepage, runoff, and deep percolation, and second is the unrecoverable losses. For example, water that flows to the sea or that is evaporated from lakes or reservoirs. So the recoverable losses like seepage, percolation, runoff, uh, these can be utilized or recovered for utilization later on the farm, uh, or they may contribute to the groundwater recharge. But the unrecoverable losses uh, do not contribute to the water consumption or beneficial water consumption by crops. In the Mediterranean climates and in the Great Plains of America, fallowing is practiced to increase the amount of water stored in the soil. In wheat-based systems of the Plains of America, uh, during the fallow period, about 1 year's rainfall water is stored, which can be utilized by the succeeding wheat crop. Fallowing serves two functions. Number one, it is increases the amount of water stored in the soil, and number two, it increases the nitrate availability by oxidation of soil organic matter. And it can also be used with careful management to control weeds. In rain-fed areas of Pakistan, such as in Pothwar Plateau, fallowing is practiced during Rabi or Kharif seasons. So, if farmers have their rain-fed land located in two different locations, then they make a community-based decision uh, to leave the land fallow for Rabi or or during Kharif season. During this fallow period, they utilize the land for livestock grazing because predominantly the farming systems are crop livestock systems in rain-fed areas. The grazing livestock can control weeds, and also they add manure to the crops, which increases or restores the soil fertility by adding soil organic matter and thus increasing the water holding capacity of the soil. But this is a community based decision. Precipitation in arid areas often causes more havoc than benefit. This is because of the intensity of rainfall. Mostly there are torrential rains, and the crop cover or vegetation cover is sparse or absent in arid areas. Therefore, there are more losses caused by runoff, and there is less infiltration. So, most soil conservation practices, including strip cropping, contouring, and terracing, aim at reducing runoff and increasing the infiltration rate. The protection provided by vegetation uh, is a major factor in controlling runoff. The vegetation cover reduces the velocity or energy of raindrops. It slows the movement of water on the soil surfaces. The growing crop canopies or plants intercept part of the rainfall, and a growing crop rapidly consumes the available water, therefore and hence keeping the soil moisture content low, and in that case the rate of infiltration is increased. Increasing the infiltration rate is one of the main goals of soil management in order to reduce runoff and the losses caused by erosion. The rate of infiltration depends on soil structure, the wetness or dryness of the soil, soil cover, and the intensity of rainfall. When rainfall or raindrops uh, fall on a bare soil, soon they destroy the surface aggregates. This happens especially in heavy textured or clay soil. So in this case, the rate of infiltration becomes low and rate of runoff is increased. So one of the effective strategies to reduce the raindrop energy and water movement over the soil surface is by maintaining mulch. Mulching with crop residues or straw can increase the rate of infiltration by as much as 50%. However, it's also a paradoxical problem in arid areas that farmers cannot maintain crop residues or mulch due to economic reasons. They utilize crop residues as animal feed or for fuel. However, mulching is a very effective strategy for reducing the raindrop energy and increasing the rate of infiltration, thereby ultimately reducing the runoff. Similarly, the densely growing crops, for example, sorghum or pearl millet in arid areas, offer more resistance to water flow than the row crops like groundnut. So they are more effective uh, in increasing the rate of infiltration. All those factors that maintain and improve soil structure improve infiltration, and all those factors that destroy the soil structure uh, increase the runoff. However, if the subsoil is impervious, eventually uh, runoff or ponding will happen. Therefore, uh, in barani areas or arid areas, it is a highly recommended practice to break the hard pan uh, every 3 years so that there is no impervious subsoil layer. And similarly, deep tillage before the onset of monsoon rains to maximize the rate of infiltration, and shallow tillage after the rainfall to break the capillaries and check the evaporation, help to retain water within the soil.